to Morocco then. In the end, Nige, did you feel like it was... you said at half-time, poor first half from them. Were you more impressed in the second half?
Slightly better second half, but for what we've seen from them and the levels and the standards that they've set, they were nowhere near it today. But this is what this game would bow down to, quality aspect of it. Love everything what Jesse Marsh has done to Canada, what he said, and 100% right. He's inspired a lot of the next generation of Canadian players. Great to see, but I always felt that coming into this game against Morocco, it will be the quality aspect of it. Even without Morocco playing, let's just not even say about 70% good, the quality shined through in the end. If you look at the goals that they scored against this Canadian side, that's what's going to happen. I think Canada now have to put themselves on more pressure to say, right, we've set a great foundation, but now to get to that next tier, we have to improve in quality-wise. We have to improve in football intelligence. We have to take it to that next level that we could be spoken about like these next teams, because that's what's always going to shine in the end of the day, the higher you go in the footballing pyramid. They've
been a dark horse, haven't they, in the past? Do you think that they're still considered that in this competition, Troy, or are you not as high on them?
I don't know. They could cause, on their day, they could cause anyone problems. We saw that with the first game against Brazil. That first half, they were excellent, probably should have been 2-3-0 up. And then they showed the other side of it, where it's still a young team, it's still a developing team. I think there's still question marks over the coach as well, in terms of it's his first World Cup. He's learning on the job. Sometimes you're going to come up against real top quality operators like Carlo Ancelotti, for example, with Brazil, who could just manipulate a game a little bit better. But they've done well. It's a team you wouldn't want to play. Unfortunately for them, they're coming up against a team next that no one wants to play, which is France. So you're
Paraguay.
OK, it's France. You know, again, ultimately, you could use the Paraguay game, you can use the Canada game very much. These guys can put up great performances, they can work hard, they can run hard, they can do all that fun stuff. But when it comes to the nuances of football, the quality aspect of it, Morocco are just better, France are just better. And 9 times out of 10, the better team will come out on top. And I thought Canada did a great job. Now is when I want to hear Jesse Marsh doing the speeches. Now I want them to tell how great they've been and what a journey this has been on. And obviously we'll get prepared and we'll go again in 4 years' time. But for Morocco, it was just ultimately sit in, bunker in, and then just play through the lines. Eventually, Canada run out of steam.
It's funny because when Troy said that, just thought about a story back in my playing days. So it was when stats really started to come into football, and managers used to have the distance that players ran or the team ran after a game. And it was when Arsene Wenger was at Arsenal, he brought it in. So obviously our manager thought, OK, you've got to run twice as hard and then you get the result. We played Chelsea. Chelsea ran half the distance of our team did, and they beat us 3-0. We covered double the distance. That's the point I'm trying to make to this game here, where, yes, you can run, do all that great foundation, but there's going to be moments at the highest level where quality comes into play. When you have quality players, even if they're not playing good or running half the distance that you do, it will show in the end. And that's what happened with this game. I'm not saying it always works that way, but the majority of the time it will. That quality aspect will shine through.
I think for Canada, when they look back in their tournament, it's the first ever point, first time that they get a win, first time that they go to the next round. But this was a limit for me. This was the ceiling for where this team was going to go. That was as good as Canada were going to play, and probably as bad as we'll see Morocco play, certainly throughout this tournament, compared to what they did against Brazil, compared to what they did against the Netherlands. So, yes, they have a good place that they're going. They're all bought in. Everything is behind Jesse Marsh. He renewed his contract right before. He's going to stay until the 2030 World Cup. But they need to improve technically. The technical quality, the way that they move the ball. You're in that first half, you play as well as you did, you still didn't have a goal to show for it. And for Morocco, I know we could see this as a negative, but it could also be spun as a positive, that you played bad, you still won 3-0. You found a way to break the press of Canada, especially on the second goal. We saw that. They only scored 6 goals last World Cup in 2022, and now how many goals they've scored now. They're trying to change their identity, trying to change their style, gaining more experience. Saibari goes off in the 23rd minute, 24th minute. They still find a way to score the goals. They dealt with that pressure. So, yes, of course, you're going up against France, but I think this Morocco team you can't mess with them.
What's the narrative for them now moving forward? Are they better than the team that we saw compete in the World Cup in 22?
I would say so. I think it's a different Morocco we're seeing. Marco touched on it really well as well. When you talk about last World Cup, they played very deep, defensive-minded, counter-attacking football. That's the best way to say. This World Cup, we're seeing a progression in Morocco, just like we criticised them in the first half. They want to play through the lines. They want to control the game. Was a bit slow today. Wasn't great. I would just say, for me, I would look at this for them as players. You'd say, right, bad day at the office. We got the job done. We could take positives from that. In tournament football, you're always going to have that one indifferent game. Doesn't matter what nation you are, they're always going to have that game that's indifferent. You take it now with a win against Canada, knowing that you're going to have tough opponents next against France or Paraguay, and you need to turn up for that. So you'd rather take an indifferent, poor performance today than have gone into that next game and most likely play France and take a poor performance, because that could be an absolute tonking if you played like that against France.
Here's a look at the momentum chart. You've got to imagine if it is France and not Paraguay that advances, then it's going to be France with the possession in the next game, right? This is our friends at SofaScore. It was pretty even for the possession, the ball possession, but you can see the momentum was pretty back and forth today, Marco.
Yeah, absolutely. And we even showed the stats at halftime. I believe Canada had 23% possession or 30% possession, and Morocco didn't do well, but they knew how to break. And I go back to that second goal. It's the counterattack that they had, where they understand that Canada wants to press them man-to-man. They're going to be high up on the pitch, and once you have those balls that could break the line, that's where you start getting the danger. And I think even Amrabat coming into the midfield helped control the midfield a little bit more. They were breaking the lines. They were really smart. You have to be adaptable. You have to be able to adapt to your opponent and tactically get it correct. And I think you can make that argument for Canada, but you could also make it tonight for Morocco that they had to adapt to what Canada were able to do. And even through a poor performance, you're still winning 3-0, and you manage the moments a lot better without a lot of key players who had to go off.
I don't know what you think, Troy, but looking at those possessions lost, those numbers are absolutely ridiculous. You can't have that amount of possession turnover at this level.
That was going to be the point I was going to get into. Look, dress it up for what it is, right? 151 turnovers. Do that against France. I dare you. You can't turn the ball over that much. And again, for as much as we're talking about Canada and what they need to do to improve, there's been so much talk about Bouadi, the midfielder. The manager keeps taking him out after 60 minutes. Now, whether he's saying you're young, it's an easier sub, but one thing I'm starting to see, for all the talent that this kid clearly has, and he will grow on to be an unbelievable football player, there's little nuances of the game that you need to understand and recognise. Okay, we keep turning the ball over a lot. For the next 2 or 3 minutes, I'm going to drop a little bit deeper. I'm going to play. Amrabat comes straight into the pitch, understands the pitch geography, and goes, well, if everyone's up against each other there, they're close enough to mark me. So I'm going to back off. He backed off 5-6 yards, got the ball, played one forward pass, broke the whole Canada press. Now Morocco are in on that back line. Just in 2 minutes of being on the field, he was just able to go, OK, I can assess where I am. And that comes with age. And I just wonder whether Morocco have that youthfulness going against them at this moment in time, that they can't manage moments, manage the game. Go back to the Brazil game. They're ahead. They should be really putting their foot on the gas. They miss chance after chance after chance. Brazil get back into it. Now it looks like Morocco actually are hanging on. So I just wonder, when do they learn these experiences? Nigel, you're a midfielder. You tell me, because you was younger, obviously, being captain and stuff. But then there would have been a moment in your career where it's like, OK, I get it now. It's
kind of getting the balance right, just out to what you're saying now. I think that for me, it's more of the manager. If he can get the balance right of the team, because he's got experience and he's got youth there, he needs to find the right starting lineup that's got the right balance of experience where, like you said, you shouldn't have to bring on Amrabat now to slow the game down. If Amrabat's there now next to Bouadi and they're playing well, then Amrabat can be the senior player, could say, all right, now I'm going to put my foot on it. You go further up. So that's what it is. You've got to get the balance right of the team that he has, and that's something that the manager hasn't quite got yesterday. Maybe he might be overreacting over this one performance, but we do know they have to improve tremendously because of who they're going to play next.
Here's a look at the ratings from SofaScore as well.
Troy,
get ready, everybody.
I mean, what are we doing?
Why? Come on. Don't just be mad just to be bad.
No, Al-Khadous was terrible, but somehow he's 6.4. So that was good. Obviously, he came off. Amrabat, who we just said, was brilliant when he came into the pitch, but apparently Bouadi, who, according to SofaScore, was good, came off. So I don't understand it all personally, but yeah, fair is fair.
And Amrabat, who we were just talking about, 6.1.
6.1. That's what I mean. I don't understand anymore.
Azraoui was great.
Yeah.
7.9.
They all did all right. It was a solid performance.
Diaz, again, for me. Ooh. It's questionable. He's there, big butt.
He gets that assist. He gets that assist towards the end there. I think it was the second goal.
Yeah.
And the way that the numbers are skewed, if you score, you get assist. Then no one on that pitch was a 9.1. Like no one. So 151 turnovers.
Well, he did get 2 goals.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. He gets 2 goals, so it adds to his stats, right? But
Hakimi being on
9.1
that yellow
performance
as well was a little bit concerning.
A 9.1 performance for you when you watched that?
No, but for the stats,
Goals change game.
Because of it, the goals, he's got 2 massive goals in a game.
Which you can
saves.
understand why
I'd
that
say,
boosts
yeah,
the
I can
stats.
understand the 9.1.
Yeah.
Don't tell Troy that.
I can understand.
I thought
Right.
it was just. I thought stats were meant to cut through the emotional noise and just go. That's
I'm sure
what it
you
is.
wouldn't mind if you scored a hat-trick and didn't do much else in the game and you got a 10 rating.
No,
from
believe it or not, it
SofaScore?
used to annoy me. I used to have friends that were very, very. I remember playing Aston Villa. We scored 2. I scored 2. We won 2-0 or 3-0. I can't remember what it was. We beat them anyway. My friend, as soon as I came upstairs, was like, "You were terrible." I have people around me are very, very honest. So I would never come in after a game going, "I scored 2. I was great." I'd always fixate on what I needed to do better.
What was your reply when you said you were terrible? Because I know you said something.
Yeah, it's like, where we go for a drink, I don't care. That's tomorrow's problems. But genuinely, that's what the people I keep around me. You've met some of my friends. They're very, very, very honest people. We just call it as it is. So.
I thought your reply would have been, well, my bonus doesn't sound terrible. That's what Troy would have
It's
said.
not always about money, Nigel, but it is always about money.
OK, so interesting with the stats then. Morocco, do we all think that their journey is going to come to an end in the next round, unfortunately?
I wouldn't write them off, no.
Oh, you wouldn't write them off against
I wouldn't
France?
write them off.
No?
They'll give anyone a game. They'll give anyone a game.
We've seen crazy things in the World Cup.
listen,
We've seen crazy things in this World Cup.
I picked France
let me just
as my
tell you how
favourite.
this
If
journey
anything was proven over this World
Let
Cup,
me tell
is
you
you
how
have to
this
fight
journey's
for
going to go.
everything.
I don't disagree. Anyone can give anyone
because
a game.
I said
What
it.
he will do today,
It's true.
today,
No, it's not.
It's
Morocco will struggle. I mean, Morocco can win, sorry. France could struggle. The day of the game, no one can beat France.
Yeah.
And then when he wins, he goes, "I told you," because he picked both of them. That's what he does every time.
That's such a lie. I just said, you're basically saying, is there any chance for Morocco in the next game if it's France?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm saying yes,
There's a
there is a
chance.
chance.
What-
There
what's
is
the-
a
what's
chance.
the split?
What's the
There's a good
percentage
chance.
split?
I
Like
will
70-30?
70-30 in favour of France. That is.
What would you give, Troy?
Based on what we've seen so far,
Yeah.
80-20.
Marco?
Okay, you're not that
Because,
far. I suggested 70-30 for that
70-30.
reason.
Because the only reason I say that is we haven't seen France really tested defensively yet. Only Senegal were really able to push them into an area of discomfort. But from what we saw in Morocco, and you see 151 turnovers, if you're going to turn the ball over to Elise, Mbappe, Dembele, Barcola, Doué, good luck.
They did well in the other games. Like against the Netherlands, they had Dutch people questioning their identity.
How many times have you said, Holland are going to win this tournament?
Not win, but go
Don't worry
far.
about it. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
But to go far.